Hi, I'm Gregory Jones. I'm here with Global City Unity, and we're about to take a historic trip, and we're here with this lovely Queen Beatrice. Can you tell us about what this tour is going to consist of today?
Oh, this is going to be a wonderful tour. It's called Freedom 13, the strength, the dream, the destiny. And we're going to discover new things about ourselves and as well as learn from our history today. We're going to talk about A. Philip Randolph. We're going to talk about George Foreman. We're going to talk a little bit about what we need to do to help actually get our organization, get our community back in order. So today is going to be a day of where we're going to be connecting each community connecting Chicago, one community at a time. Thank you so much. That's all right, people. We're going to be headed up now into, we're getting closer and closer to the Chicago Loop. I want you to look at this statue to your left, coming right here to your left. This gentleman standing there, that statue to your left, that is the monument of the Great Migration. And even though it looks like fish scales, those are not fish scales. Those are shoe soles. Those are shoe soles. Those shoe soles represent all the thousands and thousands of people, I would say millions of people that migrated here in the Great Migration starting back in 1916. And so this is where they settled, right here in Bronzeville, Illinois, is where they settled at. As we continue to go on, we're going to be going closer to over by the museum campus. We're going to check and see if we can get through there. They're having a concert. They're having a concert, and we're going to still see if we can get through there, because they're going to talking about closing the museum campus to all vehicles around 4 o'clock. That's why we was trying to get you here, so you can have your break. But we're gonna get there, and we're gonna see what's gonna be there. This is the McCormick Place. Do you know that the McCormick Place is the largest trade show in the United States of America? This is the largest in the United States of America, and what they call this the trade show area, but the black building that's over there on Lakeshore Drive, you can't see it from here, but on Lakeshore Drive, it's the convention center. That convention center came to us back in the 1970s, the early 1970s. It caught fire and rebuilt it back within a year. That's also where President Obama, his last speech that he gave for free here in the city of Chicago, that's where he was at the McCormick Place. I'll point that out to you as we get closer and closer to where our destination is going to be. I hope you're enjoying yourself so far. I'm on the bus all the time, people. When I'm on this bus here, this is my playground. This is definitely my playground. I truly enjoy what I do when I'm down here on the Loop. I meet people from all over the world, and all nationalities that I meet, and I really enjoy myself from young to old. I had an opportunity to meet a lady one time. She was 100 years old. It was her birthday. She was 100 years of age. Now, we're going to be, as you see all of this development that you see that's going on here in the city of Chicago, in the Chicago Loop, this is one of the things on the that the African Americans are really fighting about. It was talking about Mayor Emanuel, that he's spending so much money downtown here redeveloping and restructuring the city loop, where his dream is to make Chicago a better New York. That is what his dream is. And so to make it a better New York, he has to invest in high-rises. Now, the high-rise came from a gentleman named Daniel Burnham, a man with the master plan. Back in 1909, he developed a plan after the 1871 Chicago fire. That was the Great Chicago Fire, where we lost over 10 to 18,000 buildings. All of that debris was shoveled over into the areas in which we're riding in now. And all of that debris was shuttled there. And then for a while, over there by the Grant Park, for the Grant Park, those of you are going to be coming straight ahead, that actually was so desolate. It was Daniel Burnham, the man with the master plan of 1909. He actually redesigned that. And Montgomery Ward is the gentleman that also fought the Park District not to build any buildings in the Grant Park area. So today you have millions of people come from all over the world just to come to the Chicago Loop. It was in 2006, the first 6 months in 2006, you had over 27.9 million people came to the Millennium Park alone, which means what, gentlemen? That means that money stays in the loop. That money stays in the loop. So that's why we're bringing the big bus and bringing tourism back to the south side of Chicago, because the same concept that Mayor Emanuel has for the loop is the same concept that I have and I want you to have and we all should have for our south side community and building up our economics in our community. Now, straight ahead, you see the Central Railroad Station written on those tracks. That's actually the tracks, railroad tracks, that the Great Migration, all the African Americans migrated here. And the biggest migration was between 1940 till about the early 1970s. This is the Central Station right above us as we're coming above it. And over here in this area, Daniel Burnham, the man with the master plan, he used to live over here. Frank Lloyd Wright is another architect. You also had John Root. He was a partner of Daniel Burnham. They're the ones that put us on the map as skyscrapers. Chicago, we're going to have a lot of trees headed up to you in the front, guys, so watch your head. Chicago is sixth in the world, rather, of having the most skyscrapers. Now, the last time, we got very low trees coming to you. Watch your head. The skyscrapers, the last time I read, we was counted as 112 skyscrapers, but actually Chicago counts their skyscrapers from the 40th floor on up. So actually we have 144. Now we're also going to be building another building that's actually from a young lady. She's Asian. I can't get her name right now. I always forget the young lady's name. But she's an architect, and she's going to be building one of the tallest buildings here in Chicago. It's going to be bigger than, taller than the Sears Tower, which stands over 1,500 feet tall because of the antenna. There's 110 floors in the Sears Tower, which we know as, the foreigners know it as the Willis Tower. We'll talk more about that as we see that as well. As we get closer and closer to the Field Museum, I'm going to show you, it's going to be coming up to your left. You're going to actually, where you won't see it, the Central Railroad Station itself, but they actually are rebuilding now on that property there. It's gorgeous out here, isn't it? Isn't it? It's lovely. We can hold off the sun, but it's lovely. I'm so used to it that all I do is drink water and keep talking. All right. Yes, you can. You see the world. It's a total different perspective. It's a total different perspective, and it gives you another one. Over here to your left, where you see all this skyscraper going on. This is where the Central Railroad Station used to be at. This is where it used to be at, and I'm going to show you. We're going to make a right turn, but the John H. Johnson is, you can't, Holly, I'll have to wait till we come to another angle from, and I'll show it to you, but it's on Michigan Avenue. Back in 2010, his daughter sold the building to Columbia College is where it's, yeah, Columbia, there it is. You can see it now. If you look back, say Ebony Jet, that brown marble structure there, that is what that is there. Then to the right of that brown structure that you see there with the beige on top and the little cube, that is actually the Hilton Hotel. The Hilton Hotel is also where the movie The Fugitive was filmed. That was inside of there. They also, Chicago Fire is filmed inside of there. And what's another one? Empire. Empire was also filmed inside of there. Now that cube that you see on top of that building there, that's actually a penthouse. It costs $8,000 to $10,000 to rent that. It was President Clinton was the last president to actually he was the last president to actually rent that out. You also can put your helicopter on top of there. Anybody want to rent that out and we can have a party? Okay, all right. You don't want to party on that. Let's look at that red building that says the CNA building. That real red building that you see there came to us back in 1972, and it's actually the CNA building is a mortgage company that sells mortgage insurance. Now, that building is red. It was Mayor Daley. I'll call him Daddy Daley. He was very upset when the architect painted that building red. He was very highly upset. He was like, "Why did you paint that building red? You have our skyscrapers is going to be looking bad. You're going to mess up our skyline. I don't like that." And so what he ended up doing, he just painted it a darker red. That's what he did. Okay. The third tallest building here in the city of Chicago is that tall building that you see right in the middle of the Columbia Street there. That is called the Aon building. It stands about 1,136 to 38 feet tall. It's 100 floors inside of that as well. You have the Microsoft is inside of there. What else is inside? The Kraft Foods is inside of there as well. And what else you want to see? That building that's like a pencil to the left of the Aon building, that actually is the second Prudential building. And of course, to the left of that is obvious. That is the first Prudential building. As we get closer and closer to the museum campus, I'm going to show to you the Soldier Field building is coming up to your right, your front right. And that actually, they call that the most distasteful building here in the city of Chicago. Not because I say it, but because it was architects that said that. And the reason why they called it the most distasteful building in Chicago, today we cannot even host a Super Bowl because that what you see, that flying saucer, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like a flying saucer sitting inside of a Roman bowl, and then when you go to the other side, it looks like a flat tire. So what happened is they took out seats and made that flying saucer portion, they made that seats, but the part that looks like flat tire, those are actually box seats. Those are box seats that they say they built for me, you, and for all of us, because they said they wanted us to come to the game and be comfortable, but actually it was an economic situation. Those box seats are very expensive. So it's very, in other words, too many people are not going to go see a football game. They'll no longer have a dome on top of it where you can stay warm during the winter time. So now when you come to the games, you have to be there. But in 1919, it actually was called Municipal Park. And Municipal Park, they changed the name from Municipal Park until 1924 is when they changed the name to Soldier Field. Now, the Bears did not come there until like about 1970s, within like 71, 72, somewhere around up in there. But their home actually was in the Wrigley building. They played with the Cubs. They played with the inside of the clubs. This is also where in 1966, it was Martin Luther King. I believe it was 1966 when Martin Luther King came here and made his speech right there in the Soldier Field. And he walked all those people to the City Hall from here to City Hall, which we now know is on what, Clark Street, Clark, Randolph and Clark, somewhere around up in there. And that's where he did that at. Now, in 1919, when they built the Soldier Field, it was 100,000 seats inside of there. Now they have no more than about 60,000 seats that's inside of there. They have all different type of events that's inside. And last year we had, that's a nice bike. That's a nice bike. That's a very nice bike. Last year we had Beyonce here as well. You're going to see we're going to be going into the museum campus, where you're going to see the Adler Planetarium, the Shedd Aquarium, and the Field Museum. I'll talk more about those as we get in there. But before we get there, I want to discuss with you about Northern Island. Northern Island is to the right of the Soldier Field, and it's over there by the Daniel Burnham Harbor. You're going to see it in just a moment once we pass this light. Northern Island was supposed to have been 5 islands. Those 5 islands actually was inside of Daniel Burnham plan of 1909, but he passed in 1912. Just to show you how Chicago politicians think here in the city of Chicago, in 1912 when he passed, instead of giving all his islands that he designed, they only gave him one. They only gave him one. When they also tried to put the field they also tried to put the Field Museum in the Grant Park area. But you had Montgomery Ward that fought for that and would not allow that to happen. as we get closer there, Meg Phil. What I wanted to tell you about Meg Phil, I don't know if you all remember the story back in 2003 with Meg Phil, when our mayor at the time, Mayor Daley, I call him the Sun Daley. Yes, he had a tantrum back in 2003. He wanted to take Meg Phil and create an amusement park, but because they wouldn't give him an amusement park, and City Hall will refuse that, he woke up 1:30 in the middle of the night, and he actually had a couple of his guys to put bulldozer X into the airport there. So now we don't even have a third airport anymore, nor do we have the amusement park that he wants. Right now, all you have is hills and valleys there. But that's where our taxpayers' money went to. It cost us millions of dollars just to patch that back up for what he did. He stranded 10 aircrafts. One of them was for Harrison Ford aircraft, and you know him, Indiana Jones. That was for him. Now you get a chance to look at the Soldier Field. This portion over here to your right that I call the flat tire side, that is actually, those are the box seats. You can see, you get a chance to see in and out between the trees. Those are your box seats that's inside of there. And then this hot dog stand over here to your left, this is the only hot dog stand, personally owned hot dog stand in the museum campus, period. They've been there for years, years, and years. They've been there for a long time. So you have all of that right there. We're getting closer to the Adler Planetarium, and thank you, Mr. Frank. You got us here where we can have our break. We're going to be going to a break in just a moment. We're going to give you time to hop off the bus, go to the washroom, we got some snacks downstairs for you. Water, juice, and pop is down there as well. All free of charge, is all part of the tour. And you could take you some pictures along the skyline. And it's really gorgeous over here too. It's a beach over here. I call it the family-friendly beach because it's a small beach and it doesn't have a big crowd. Something Miss Geneva probably will like, because she don't like all that crowds and going through stuff. And she know I'm talking about her. Yes, but that'll be a perfect beach that I used to take my kids there when they were younger, and they call it the 12th Street Beach. We have 19 miles of beaches here in the city of Chicago. You need riding the big bus. The reason why I'm bringing the big bus to you is to see these and view all what I'm saying here. Every day, this is where I work at. This is part of where I work at, right here in the Field Museum. This is part of my job, is coming and introducing people from all over the world to what we have here in the City Loop. And this is what we also need to be doing for our children, for our families. This is a great date night. This is a great date night for your girlfriend. You don't have to have a pocket full of money, okay? You know, you can go to Walgreens and get you a Subway, a sub for $5.99. You all can have that. Get your some spirits up in there. They have that on low income. Yeah, some spirits. Yeah, discount spirits. Okay, I know all about them spirits at Walgreens. Okay, and you can go right there. Over here to your right, this is the Daniel Burnham. This is his harbor, one of the most expensive harbors here. And I'm going to show you, well, you can't see the other one. The other expensive harbor is John Baptiste de Sable. He's the founder of Chicago, African American, Haitian descent. They're not for sure which one was his culture, but he's considered the first African American to have found Chicago back in 1780. He was a fur trader, and he was married to a Potawatomi Indian. Now, to park in his harbor, as well as Daniel Burnham Harbor, it costs you anywhere to $3,000 to $5,000 a month to park your boat there. Yeah, that's all, $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Yes, just to park your boat there monthly. That's monthly. Thank you. Y'all gonna go half and half. Yes, yes. It gets, and see, if you look over here to your far left, those little bitty boats that you see there, that's what I call the cheap parking spots. Okay, yeah, those are cheap parking spots, because to gas up those type of boats over there in the harbor, it costs almost $1,000 to gas those boats up. to gas them up real full here. As you see, this is where a lot of people here, they use the museum campus to take pictures, to get married. On Wednesdays and Saturdays, you have your Wednesdays and Saturdays at the Navy Pier. They have fireworks, so a lot of people come over here to the Navy, come right over here in the museum campus to avoid that crowd to Navy Pier that you see right across the lake there. They come and they do that. As you see, one of our sister buses is up here, big bus. They're here in the museum campus. Now this particular bus that we're getting ready to pass now, that's not this bus here, but the one in front of you here, this is one of our London style buses. I'm going to show it to you as we get closer to it as Frank move up. This is one of our London style buses here. The driver actually is sitting on the right hand side. And that bus holds over 72 people on top. I believe at top it's like 72. Hello, how you all doing? Hi, how are you? How's it going? Yeah. See, they're at their stop now taking pictures, and then they'll probably be pulling off within the next 5 minutes or so. We're going to find us a spot here so you can take you a break. Hop off the big bus, get you some air, get you some water, get you a bite to eat.
Hi, you're here with George Owens of Global City Unity, and we're here with Getting Chicago United. Right now, we're on a tour. We're touring Chicago with some of the business owners, some of our friends, our family, and we're out here having a great time. We just got a chance to tour the Pullman area on the south side. We got a chance to go through the Bronzeville area. We got a chance to go through see DeSalvo Museum, the Harold Washington Cultural Center, and now we're over here by the Shedd Aquarium, the Planetarium, the Field Museum, Soldiers Field. We're having a great tour just going through Chicago, visiting some of the neighborhoods, uniting people. That's what it's all about, fellas, at our community, about getting Chicago united. What better way to get Chicago united than to take a tour, get on the tour bus, meet new friends, and gather and have fun, getting out, having picnics, going to the beaches. This is a beautiful city, and we should be proud of it. We shouldn't have to worry about going through our areas and a lot of gang violence and just not being able to enjoy each other's company. So I hope and pray that you guys are constantly with me this summer. We're going to have a lot of great programs. We're going to be coming to neighborhoods near you. We're going to be getting Chicago united one neighborhood at a time. It's all about unity, peace, love, and prosperity in our communities. That's what I'm here for. God gave me the vision to try to create, when He created His universe, He put and instilled in me a heart to want to love people, want to unite them, and want to see them having a great time enjoying this planet Earth right here. Having the global warming, we need to protect our neighborhoods. We need to protect our Earth. We need to protect the waters that we're around. We need to protect these fish. We're going to have and go in the planetarium, and then we're going to go in the Shedd Aquarium over here in a minute. I'm going to take one of my sons. We're going to look at some of the fish that are in the planetarium and see what beautiful fish we have in the ocean marina. We're going to look at the Great Lakes and see some of the fish that are in the Great Lakes. We're going to be doing a couple of interviews out here a little later with some of the people that are on the bus here today with Big Bus Chicago. They're one of the sponsors to sponsor this particular event, and we had a beautiful time just going through and seeing some of our neighborhoods. Hopefully we can go through the west side and some of the north sides and just look at some of the historic monuments that we have here in Chicago, because Chicago is a beautiful city. We love our city. Chicago is my home, and it's my type of place. So once again, you're here with Global City Unity. We want you to come down. We want you to have a great time. We want you to enjoy yourself.
But it's one of the most dangerous Great Lakes. It's the third largest Great Lake, and it's a dangerous Great Lake because of the current, the undercurrent. It is 900 feet deep. The most shallowest portion is 300 feet deep. And you actually can walk from here to Navy Pier. You can walk right here from Navy Pier. It's a lovely walk. It's a great walk. Again, another place for the family, for your date, for yourself. Just take you a walk. You don't have to walk the whole mile and a half, people, at one time. Just one step at a time is all you need. That's one step at a time. As you go along that path, they actually have different beverages. Hello, people. They actually have, oh, they're waving, thinking this is the other big bus. They think they've been missed. But anyway, that's a great walk, and that's what we're talking about, bringing the family together. Sometimes you have to come by the water and let that water really come out into your mind and let it speak to your heart and your spirit and get some of that pressure off. Trust me, I know what pressure is, but since this is not a woman's tour, I'm not going to tell you my problems. We're getting ready to, I thought I was on the other tour. I get ready to say, we get ready to head up to stop number 9. But now, stop number 9 for us at Big Bus is the Field Museum. That's what I was getting ready to call it. The Field Museum came to us back in 1921. It was Marshall Fields. He donated $1 million. That was his last project that he got involved with. He donated $1 million, and a couple of more business guys together, they donated $2 million to bring us the Field Museum. That's going to be coming up to our right in just a moment. Inside of that Field Museum, the most expensive man you will ever know. Her name is Sue, Miss T-Rex, Sue the T-Rex. Sue the T-Rex cost $8.3 million just to bring to the Field Museum. It was $8.3 million. When you go inside of the Field Museum, you'll learn all about the Ice Age, the American Age. You'll also learn, there has a gallery in there of shoes from people from all over the world. And one of the things that was so unique when I went inside of there, in that shoe gallery, they have a shoe in there that is real tiny, and it's not a child's shoe. It's actually an adult shoe. And the largest shoe inside of there is Michael Jordan's Nike shoe. Yes, it's about the size of a ship. Look like a ship sitting inside of there. Yes, Sue the T-Rex, actually, the reason why it cost $8.3 million for Sue the T-Rex, she was actually named after Sue Hendrickson from South Dakota. And on an Indian reservation in South Dakota, she purchased the opportunity to dig up, extricate those bones for $5,000. But what happened was, when the government found out that there were actually bones there, and when they also found out that it was on an Indian reservation in which the gentleman owned taxes for it, he had back taxes, that's when it became very important that they began to look at that and say, hey, that's when they began to, when they was really involved with that and say, wait a minute, we got a problem here. And there's, we're going to out-talk each other. We go through this all the time. I'm used to it. Oh, yeah. I'm used to it. They do that all the time. Let's hear her story.
I'm gonna use your mic. I'm gonna use your microphone when I sing.
Didn't she just tell my story? Didn't I just say it all? She repeated everything I said. I love that company. They do that to us all the time.
It's one of my favorite spots here in Chicago.
She didn't say that much, did she? All right. Now that she told you the rest of the story, I don't even have to finish it. But they have what they call a Jurassic World. Oh yeah, that's just something that they do all the time. We enjoy it. Jurassic World is it's a 3D of Jurassic World on the behind the Field Museum right here in the city of Chicago. If you look to your front right, you can see the Willis Tower there. The Willis Tower standing over 1,500 feet tall. And as we continue to go on, look to your direct right with that one antenna up. That is the Trump Tower. The Trump Tower is the second tallest building here in the city of Chicago, and it stands 1,388 feet tall. It's over 100 floors inside of there. Steve Harvey, he lives inside of there. Derrick Rose actually has a $2.3 million a condo inside of the Trump Tower. Now, I don't know if he sold it or not, because we know he does not play with the Bulls anymore, so I don't know if he sold that or not. And Patrick came from the Black Hawks. He also has a condo inside of there as well. Now, the Trump Tower is a combo. It's a hotel condo combo, and they have spas and restaurants inside of there as well. As we head on down now to we're going to be going closer to where, this is where we're going to have President Obama. Rex, I need you to start working your way up this way. We're going to have President Obama's home. I mean, not home, but where they're going to build a library, Jackson Park. I'll talk more about that as we get closer to that. But I'm going to be bringing to you now Mr. Rex Ingrams. He's in Prime America. He's going to tell you all about Prime America, why you need it and why we got to have it and all that stuff. There you go.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm gonna sit down because she more skilled at standing up while I drive it. I don't want to be on the news falling over the top of the big bus. Hey, well, this is what I want to talk about. Not exactly why you need Primerica, because that's not what it's about. I use Primerica as a financial services company that has a strong thing for distribution, okay? And so what I do, as a young black man from Chicago, born and raised on the South Side, graduate of Lindblom High School '86, and then a 21-year veteran of the United States Army, I said, what is the major problem that I saw throughout all my life? And it was that nobody understood what to really do with the money they were making. So we make a lot of money in the African American community, and we spend a lot of money, but we're not investing our money properly. We're not protecting our families the right way with the right tools and financial instruments. So I said, let me go and get some licenses. I said, what company out there is going to pay for me to get these licenses? What company out there is set up to help someone like me with no college education, just a life experience education? What company is going to give me the right to talk about money? And I came up on Primerica out of all the other companies. So I use Primerica as a tool to help me get my point across that money is something we need to teach in schools. Money is something we need to talk about at the kitchen tables all across America in our communities. Money is something we need to turn into a very attractive and important thing with value. The only reason our people don't talk about money, as valuable as money is, we don't see the value in it getting an education about money. We see the value of money, but not the value of getting an education in money. So when I look at what's the four gaps, there's four gaps in the communities right now. You got your wealth gap, and you can tell by when we drive from the south side to the north side, you can see exactly what I mean by wealth gap. When you look at a community and it has thriving businesses and business owners, and their children can walk up and down on Lakeshore Drive, their children and their wives and their husbands can be out through all times of the day. Well, why is that? Because a lot of those people are business owners. A lot of those people, their families left them money. A lot of those people are entrepreneurs. Now, in contrast, why don't you see a lot of us doing the same things? Because our families are not passing down wealth. Our families are not mostly entrepreneurs. We have jobs. We make good money, but we have jobs. You can't pass your job down. You can't leave your job to your children. You can't say, hey, baby, I was working good in McDonald's, as the head manager, and I'm going to leave that job to you, sweetie, when you get older. How does that sound? So we got to handle the wealth gap. Then I got another gap, is the business gap. I talked to one brother earlier, and he was telling me about Black Wall Street. And I'm always talking about Black Wall Street. And it just so happened that I ran into this brother today, and he's actually affiliated with that, and I'm looking forward to getting more education on that. But I'm always telling people, because nobody I know knew about Black Wall Street and knew that we have built a massive economical engine. I would call it an engine, because it was a driving force for hundreds of thousands of African Americans before the people got mad with us and burnt it all to the ground. So I say we got to get back to our roots, and we got to start some businesses, and we can't just go by their rules. Their rules say you can't help your brother get up. Their rules say don't tell your brother how much you make on this job I gave you. You go tell your brother to come, and we'll give him a job at half of what we paying you. And so then he's just pitted you against your own brother. But we gonna do something different. We gotta go be afraid to tell somebody what you can do and how you can be better. I'm not afraid of your success, and you shouldn't be afraid of mine. And that's what we need to start passing on. So it's not about Primerica, it's about using that tool to get the message across, and not only talking about it, but being about it. So when we talk about all this, what can I do, Rex? What can I do to help me? So we can start some mentorship. That's the other gap. They mentor each other. I mean, it's not just white, it's Hispanic, it's Asian. They mentor and train each other how to do things. We don't mentor one another. We talk briefly in passing. That is not mentorship. We pass a card to someone and tell them go talk to Johnny Walker. That is not mentorship. That is really holding one another back, because you're not giving them the complete picture. So we need to get mentorship on lock. And then the other one that nobody talks about in our community is having more financial advisors. If we are the majority, not the minority, not the minority anymore, we are the majority. Why are we still acting like the minority? If we're the majority, why are we still asking for permission to do things? If we are the majority, why is it less than 8% of all financial advisors are African Americans? Why is that? If we are the majority, how is less than 8% going to talk to us and get things done? So that's the financial advisor gap. One more thing I want to share before I get pulled off the mic. It's coming. I'm looking at my blocks. I know she's tracking it. Okay, why do people lose at the money game? They have too much debt. They don't understand inflation. They ignore compound interest. And let me elaborate on the inflation part. If you got your money, if I come to you and I say, I can help you increase your wealth, I can help you understand mutual funds, municipal bonds, I can help you understand how to make your money grow, and then you tell me, well, I got a CD in the bank, or you tell me I got my money in the bank. Well, back in the day, the banks were supposed to grow your money. It initially started, if you put your money here, if you put $10 in, Rex, you're going to get $20 out. You're going to grow your money over time. The banks are no longer doing that, and they haven't been doing that. So how do you make your money make money? You got to go like Warren Buffett, and you got to start playing in the stock market. You got to start getting some real estate and investing. You got to start becoming a business owner. That's the only reason that's the only way to make your money make money. Now, if you were getting 3% inflation is the national rate or so, around 3%, and you only getting 2.5% on your investment, then is your money growing? Is your money growing if you only get 2.5% in a time frame where it's 3% interest on what's going on? Your money is not making money. So don't ignore and don't misunderstand inflation and what it's doing. If you're not getting more than 3%, your money is not growing. You ignoring compound interest. You shouldn't just wait till you got $5,000 and then put it down and say, I got $5,000, I'm gonna put it down, buy a whole bunch of mutual funds right now. You should take that $5,000 and you should dollar cost average. That means you should dollar cost average. So that means you should take that $5,000, put about $200 every month to take advantage of the up and down of the market. And if the markets go up and down, what happens when it's down? Everything is on sale. That's what you got to look at. You can't say, oh no, the market's down, let me pull my money out. You have to say, oh, everything is on sale. What is Warren Buffett doing? He's increasing his amount of shares that he's purchasing. He's not decreasing, and then because he knows it's going to go back up and he's going to make far more money. But we go and we look at the stocks that's doing good. Oh man, this stock is doing great, I want some of that. That's not where we should be looking. We should be looking at companies that are on the upswing, companies that are going up and down, fighting through it. That's where the money is made at. So we just want to educate people on compound interest, how to use it. You pay too much for insurance. We don't have a plan to win. I specialize in putting together financial needs analysis. Most of the time you go to companies, a financial needs analysis, you have to have $200,000 in income to get a financial needs analysis. You have to have $200,000 or more, else they won't even talk to you. Prudential won't even talk to you. They won't even make you a plan for your money. Different companies won't make you a plan for your money. But the company I have, they give me a tool that allows me to put together a financial plan for you. And then finally, they have no accountability. We got to have accountability. We talked about the village earlier. We got to have more accountability. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, that's Mr. Rex Ingrams talking to us about how to save, how to invest. Now we're coming up to your left is the Jackson Park area, in which they are beginning now to prepare the land to begin to build President Obama's library right over here to your left. I don't think we passed it yet, but Loco Ono, I believe that's her name, John Lennon's wife, widow. There, I'm gonna show you a piece. I don't think we passed it yet, but there's an art piece that she has over here. I believe we passed it. I'm not for sure. We must have. Oh, there's an art piece there that we once had there. But Jackson Park. Why did they choose Jackson Park for President Obama Library? The 1893 Columbian Expo. This is exactly where it was held at, right here. It was about 7 miles long, and that's where Frederick Douglass actually spoke at the Black Expo. I mean, not Black Expo. He spoke right here at the 1893 Columbian Expo, and when he was got ready to speak, he was being booed because actually the whites did not want the blacks to even be involved in the Columbian Expo. But he shouted out, and he shouted out real loud, and he got their attention, and he was demanding to say what was on his mind. And once he shouted out, everybody calmed down, and they allowed him to finish his speech there. So this is one of the reasons why they're going to bring that. They're bringing President Obama's library right here at the 1893 Columbian Expo. And so the Columbian Expo actually was the 400th year birthday of Christopher Columbus discovering America, and we know that whole truth about that, but that's another story. Okay, but but it was so exciting. The White City. If you ever heard the book The Devil in the White City, the White City was actually the Columbian Expo that was built by Daniel Burnham, the man with the master plan of 1909. And because he built that fake city, that's exactly what it was. It was a plastic city, 7 miles long. Everything you need was right there, from from the courtroom to, it was just a miniature Chicago, to everything right here what we having right now. And actually, that is the reason why they chose him to give the plan for after the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, because he was so great in doing so. And we have one more guy I want to speak to before I bring Gregory back up here, want to speak. And I want Jeffrey Dawkins. Jeffrey Dawkins, actually, this gentleman here, last year, when I met Jeffrey Dawkins, I was had left Big Bus, and he know a gentleman that's like a, well, actually, the young lady downstairs, Francine, they're like family to me. So Tony is like a brother to me. And we were out sitting while he was securing for my daughter's daycare. And Jeffrey Dawkins came, and me and Tony and I, which we always do, fussing. And Jeffrey heard me say tour guide. He heard me talking about tourism. And that's when I told him about tourism. He said, "You can get a bus?" I said, "Yes, I just don't know what to do or how to start it yet." He said, "I'll help you move that first bus." And the reason why we are doing Freedom 13 today is because Jeffrey Dawkins, we put that thing together in 2 weeks. I didn't know half the information, okay? But I knew the skills of actually doing a route, how you route a route. So between Jeffrey Dawkins and Frank, the bus driver, those two gentlemen there, those are the first two I must thank for bringing a big bus. So come on, Jeffrey, talk to me.
Good afternoon. My name's Jeffrey Dawkins, and I got a couple of things going on, but we're gonna start. I'm the chairman of Illinois Black. Hello, testing. I am the president of Illinois Black Wall Street, and we're actually tied into the original Black Wall Street. We took our first tour down there 2 years ago. Greg went down with me. We kind of opened the doors not only for us but them. There was a group of people that was down. We actually had two gentlemen, about 80 years old. Her grade is about 80. They actually cried when they seen us. And they said, "We prayed for God to send us somebody, and they sent us you guys." I said, "I'm just here." But it was an honor. I had an opportunity to be honored. I didn't even know I was going to be honored with two of the survivors there. One lady was 95. The man was 88, and he wasn't even born. His mom was pregnant with him. So we're tied in with that. Now, Black Wall Street is from the Father above. Real estate is my game, and I got a lot of my real estate people back there, my mortgage person and a couple of guys in rehab, heating AC and that, and we're getting back in because the doors is opening back up. And to follow up to this gentleman here, real estate is low, and just like in stocks, you buy low. They're running us out the neighborhood because it's too rough and everything like that. If you go in Inglewood, and Jason could confirm this, they're rehabbing in all our communities, and it's not really us. It's a handful of us. It's a gold mine right now in Inglewood, Pullman, West Pullman, Roseland, all our areas. This area, we need to get together, get back in here, get some real estate, build our portfolio, just like he said, the gentleman said here, and move forward. I'm not much of a talker, I'm more of a doer. So I'm in, and I think what we need to do is once we sign that roster, we need to get what everybody specializes in and start utilizing that, because we could start building from right here.
Hello, my name is Michael Harris. I'm a freshman at Joliet Junior College. I just wanted to talk about the experience I had with the Big Bus Tour. It was a very nice experience. Had a lot of fun with my dad. He was the one who brought me out here. I was able to have a tour of the city. I was able to learn a lot about George Pullman. I was able to learn about Jake's Potato Chips and other stuff like that. It was a really nice experience. I had a lot of fun.
This is one of the founders of the Big Bus Tour, and also my fraternity brother from Kappa Alpha Psi. What is your opinion about today's experience?
Well, As you know, I'm about economics and I'm about history. Somehow the history's been given to me from the higher being. Like I tell everyone, it's very important for us to know where we come from. We have a real rich history from the Great Migration here in Chicago that most don't even know. Most probably don't even know it was a black man that founded Chicago. So these trips are very important, not only for the youth, but for us grown folks. There's a lot of grown folks that do not know this history.
Pastor. Give your opinion about what you think about today's experience.
Today's experience was wonderful. It was an opportunity to survey the land, kind of in the tradition when Scripture talks about Joshua and those spies. They went out to survey the land to see in its raw, the goodness that was there. And we had a chance to go through all communities. In particular, we went through black community, we went through downtown community, we went through tourist community, we went through a number of places, and it was inspiring. The information was tremendous. The interaction with those who were on the tour was great, and I really look for great things to emerge out of that, and other tours that we can take that help to not only inform us, but to inspire us and to educate us in great ways. And I'm thankful that I took it, and I'm looking forward to being on the next one.
Okay. Hey, bro. Then Beatrice, I'll beat you afterwards, okay? Oh, yeah?
He did something about it late.
What was your experience like today on the Big Bus Tour?
Well, I tell you, it was something that I've never experienced before. I've learned things that in a city I grew up in, I never knew the things that I've experienced today, the sights I've seen, the history I learned, and then just meeting up with other brothers that care about the same things I care about and looking to put it into action, not just speaking about it. So I made a number of connections with people from right here in the city, and people from LA even came to be on this tour today. So I learned a lot. I can't wait for the next tours to happen and to expose all my family and friends and neighbors to this experience. So it was awesome.
What was your Big Bus experience like today? Can you tell the people?
I think my big experience is just watching the crowds in the neighborhood, seeing us go by, and just in awe of what's going on. And I'm hoping that the young people and the other neighbors that saw us driving through it would catch on and be able to join us on a big bus. I'm just really proud of this event, and I just hope that it keeps going. And I had a great time just listening to the men about their businesses and lifting up other men. And I just look forward to other tours, and I'm really proud of Beatrice Hardy. Thank you.
And our final speaker of the night is the lady who organized this tour. Her name is Beatrice, and we're going to give her a nickname, call her the Big Bus Lady. Beatrice, would you come to the mic? Here she is, ladies. We would call her the Big Bus Lady.
Hi everybody, how you doing? Beatrice Hardy. What a wonderful day. I'm very joyful. It was just to see the people through the community as we was driving that bus, waving, children coming out waving, people sitting on their porches waving. Actually, we had people blowing their horns. You have to come, you have to enjoy this. And to sit here, ladies, you all missed a treat. And to sit here amongst men, powerful men are really working toward doing things. What a wonderful opportunity to do so. And ladies, we need them and they need us. So we're going to do an encore. We're going to actually have an encore. I'm going to let you know what the date is once we get the date started. We're going to have an encore for the Men's of Honor Tour. We also going to be having another tour. It's going to be for the women. It's called Only Mother Bleeds. And I'm going to be doing that with Miss Geneva Baker Cotton. We're going to be working on that as well. And then we're going to have a family affair tour. All of that is going to be happening this year, this summer. But now also, we're going to have some other treats that's going to be coming to you as well. So we're working on music tours, gospel tours for your gospel people. We're working on that. And this first tour, this first time around, it was great. It was awesome, and we expect for it to be bigger and better the next time around.